Hello pilots and welcome back to another Flight Academy video brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and today we have game 22 of our season. It is myself versus Brad, Rebels versus Empire, a chance of a rematch for myself against Brad, who in our last matchup very much got the upper hand there with a double ship kill. So that was a very good game for Brad. But this time it is chance engagement. I have the initiative, so getting set up my ships first, but it's going to be interesting to see how I cope against this rebel build. Obviously we've got Braylen with the double tap, we've got Ahsoka being fast and tricky, as well as being able to pass some tokens over using the Force. So it's going to be interesting to see how this matchup goes, and we are starting in both very opposite corners. So got a bit of distance to travel to get over to each other, but I would say that I've got the slightly better run through. There is a precariously placed obstacle right there by Ahsoka and Braylen, meaning they're going to have to take a turn to move up before they can move in. But Ahsoka is going for the speediest of speedy approaches here. Got to be careful for those seismic charges though. If I get into a nice position to drop them, if Ahsoka's trying to get around behind my ships. And taking full advantage of the fact that there is a nice gap through there. Didn't expect to be able to get a lock there, but always worth a try. And something quite fun and interesting there, obviously, if you've ever tried to fly a medium and a small base in formation, it's not the easiest, but I found that if you are trying to turn them, if you're going on the inside, medium does a 1 and the small does a 3, and it keeps them in formation quite nicely. But one of the few games where we don't actually have shots in the first turn. Let's see how the Brad going for the 3 bank around the obstacle. Wondering, I think the 2 might have been a bit too, would have been a bit too short, but the hard definitely wouldn't have made it round there, so probably not with leaving them in a good position. And here comes a red line, casting a nice net to catch either ship there. And ooh, debate, Ahsoka or Braylen? Going for Ahsoka. Looking back on this, I think maybe Braylen might have been the better option, just because I know where Braylen is going to end up. Whereas I don't know where Ahsoka is going to end up because she hasn't moved yet. Let's see where Merrick is going to pop his target lock. Not sure if Ahsoka was actually really difficult to see from this angle. But popping it in on Braylen again, I still think Braylen might have been the right option to put that target lock on with Redline, but we will see shortly. That's not too bad. Maybe a boost round or a boost straight, probably get out of arc, but a boost round to leave it a bit of a tricky position. Would have shots on Redline though. Checking for Ahsoka's ability to spend 2 force to give Braylen an action, even while stressed. On a B-wing, that's really good. on Braylen and 10 num, that's even better, because they're invariably going to want to do something to get themselves stressed. Braylen for the rerolls, 10 to spend it. So having that ability there is always quite nice, and it looks like it's going to be double locking for Brad onto red line. No shots from Ahsoka this turn. Did we go Ahsoka or Braylen? Looks like we've got an Ion Torp going into Ahsoka. See if we can get Ahsoka out of the fight for a turn or two. And happy that we put the lock there. Oh, if that wasn't Ion Torps, that would be such a good roll. Anything but Ion Torps, and that would be brutal. So with 3 evades, guaranteed damage and an ion here. Now we did remind Brad, obviously, with it being Ion Torps, obviously he's fairly new back into the game. With it being Ion Torps, no point in him spending the Force, because we're only taking 1 damage, 2 Ion doesn't make any difference. So, but that could leave Ahsoka out of the fight for a turn. And Merrick Steele is going into Braylen. Target lock not doing much there, unfortunately. But the reroll's also not doing much. That is a shield off Braylen. Not a bad turn so far for myself. Ionizing Ahsoka and getting at least a shield off Braylen. It's a good start. And double checking. So range 2. No bullseye from Braylen, so no double tap with the heavy laser cannon, which could be incredibly... Yeah, confirmation no bullseye. Double tap from Braylen into red line could have been very, very painful. Reroll from the stress. Double evades. Okay, don't see that very often. Punisher actually evading. That was a really solid turn, and with this being chance engagement and the smaller board, the range on the central objective is 0 to 1, so that is uncontested for me, so a good solid 2 points there. Now Ahsoka is obviously ionized here, so a 1 or a bank is all she can do. Will Brad try and get in and cause a bump? Fairly aggressive move in there from Braylen. Definitely, I think definitely looking to cause bumps there either on Merrick or red line. So just checking the dials again to see which one I want to go with first. Go with Merrick first. Oh, it's a 1 forward. Does the 1 forward fit? Yes, it does. Taking that focus, no target lock there, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been nice to have that as well. And Merrick still coming round. Now, obviously it's going to be a bump. That bump would be into Braylen, so it doesn't count as a friendly bump. Just because of the awkward angle of it. Going to mark up and use the train tracks. Now that is a pretty unfortunate position Now for Braylen, Redline get the target lock there because of his ability. After doing an action, it allows you to acquire a lock. So doing the red focus action from the bump, acquiring the lock after. So that is a range 1 double modded shot that we're going to get from Redline into Braylen, and a range 1 shot from Marg as well. Now looking at the angle, I don't think Ahsoka is going to have a shot again this turn. Yeah, no, I don't think she'll be able to clip that back corner of Redline, but it is going to be the Empire going for the first shots. And it is Redline going first, spending that focus, getting 3 hits onto Braylen, guaranteed 2 shields down. Yep, 2 shields down onto Braylen, good start. And it is range 1 in bullseye, so this is procket time, no target lock. I've had very poor results with my prockets so far. That's not a bad result on prockets, to be honest. Marksmanship to up that to a crit. Oh, and it's a blank out. This could be bad. So that is shield, hit, crit, crit. And the first crit's a fuel leak. Which does mean that because of the second crit, that is Braylen down. That is the best prockets I've had in a very long time. The best prockets I've had in this entire season. That was 7 damage onto Braylen in 1 turn. I'm very happy about that. It was very solid. Now I have to deal with the Trixie A-Wing. Obviously it's on its own. A-Wings notoriously don't have the sharpest of teeth, but they've got a lot of evades, they've got a lot of maneuverability. So the 2 ships I've got right now are not the most maneuverable out there, but there is a seismic charge. See if we can cause some consternation for Ahsoka. 3 Talon from Merrick Steel to quickly get turned around. Unfortunately, could only really get 1 turned around at the moment. It's not the most ideal spot to try and get Redline back around yet. We need to see where Ahsoka is going to end up as to whether I am able to actually catch her with that seismic charge, which would be really handy because that would take off that last shield. But grabbing that lock ready for next turn is always good. Nice boost there from Ahsoka. Might just about get her out of range 1 of that obstacle. Oh, it does. Whilst disappointing for me, brilliant for Brad there. But no shot from Redline. Merrick, I also don't think has a shot there. This is all Ahsoka right now. Spending a force, just the 1 shield on Redline. Redline's still not in a great position to turn around. Obviously, his only turnaround he's got is the 4K turn. both within range of that central objective, so scoring 1 point each. It's been a very good scoring for myself. 5 points on objectives, 5 points on ship kills. It's a very tricky route back for Brad here. But parking myself on a gas cloud, that could help. Strain onto Merrick Steel, no ion, and as we've seen in the past, Merrick Steel's evades tend to be rather shoddy. So I've lost a fair few games with Merrick Steel going down early, but that's a stop there from Redline. Ooh, is this... So it's a 2 bank from... Does that clear? Oh, it absolutely clears. Now, definitely not going to want to stay there with Ahsoka right now. Locked by Redline could be quite dangerous there. But also got to be wary of moving too far away, as giving up 2 points there now. So yeah, no shot from Redline, no shot from Ahsoka, 2 points for myself. Now puts me 1 away from the victory, as we said, with Charles engagement. It's 13 points for the win. So Merrick just needs to stay close and Redline to chase. Although, will we see both ships trying to get in there and get some shots on Ahsoka? Coming into this, I had a bit of a game plan and I was quite happy that it managed to work out. Getting off those ions and prockets worked out really well. It was very nice after a few mishaps with those prockets to actually get them to work properly there. Yeah, keeping Ahsoka out of the fight early doors, big massive help for me there. So that was, I think, probably one of the biggest contributing factors there for me, and just really unfortunate for Brad as well with Braylen. You don't really ever expect Braylen to take that much damage from 2 ships in 1 turn. The fuel leak being the first crit was very brutal. And there's Merrick Steel using his normal guns to very minimal effect. And spending the force to evade that, so keeping the shields. But that is going to take it to the end of the game, scoring 2 more points for that central objective. 14-1 this time around in my favour. I'll tell you what, it was really good coming up against Brad. He is such a nice player, and we had a great first game. And this again was a really good game as well. Unfortunate with Braylen going down so quick, but really happy that I finally got a decent prockets off. But thanks to Brad for joining us to Flight Academy. It's been great to have him and everyone. As I said, we've still got plenty more games to come, guys, so don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.